guys, we just got to Toronto Auto Show, and this year is absolutely massive. Last year was honestly a disappointment. Not many manufacturers, not a lot of cars, but this year, as you can see, we're starting off with the Huayra Roadster, Huayra Coupe, and the Zonda R. I think we're in for a pretty good show. We're going to walk around, see what we can find. I know there's a lot of hypercars, a lot of new cars, but, you know, let's see. So yeah, like I said, this is the Huayra Roadster, full purple carbon body. This car's actually been in Toronto, I think since new. Now it's with a different owner. The guy drives it all the time, even in the winter. And I think he might be getting some stuff redone soon. Here we have the Pesta package Huayra, full carbon body, red interior. Also, this car, I think, spent its whole life in Canada. So nice to see two Canadian Paganis that stayed here, didn't leave. And also this Zonda R, also a Canadian customer car. Gets tracked all the time, gets seen. So, you know, it's very nice that we have, for the little amount of Paganis we have here, they do get seen, they do get shown, and, you know, people can appreciate them. Then this is out of a very big collection with a ton of crazy cars, but this is one of my favorites out of that collection. This is the SLR HDK. I think they made like 13 or 14 of these, I believe, but it's kind of like almost like a GT3 kit on an SLR. The interior stays nice, kind of, you know, still luxurious, but you get, you know, the high downforce kit, the big spoiler, the body kit, the wheels. Kind of looks like a race car, like a GT3 car. Interior still comfortable and luxurious like an SLR should be, but these things look so good, so rare. But man, this has such a presence, even though an SLR as it is already has presence, but this is really something different. Then here we have the McLaren 750S. Unpopular opinion, I think this is a bit of a weird situation because they barely changed the car. It looks very, very similar to 720S. And I think that's going to create a problem like the Ferrari 550 and the 575, where they look almost identical and you really got to know the little differences to tell them apart. And I also feel like this kind of looks like a cheap body kit on a 720S. They kind of colored out the front. The wheels, I feel like, look a little bit like aftermarket wheels, not like a factory McLaren wheel. But I just don't think the change is significant enough to kind of give it a new name. It should have just been a facelift 720S, in my opinion. Then here we have, I think, a 720S GT3 car and an Artura. Guys, so every year, kind of the highlight of the auto show, usually the best booth is right here, the Autostrada booth, which is here and also on that side. The main cars, the crazy cars, are right here. Obviously, you guys can see. Let's walk through them. So here we have something that's pretty unexpected to see in a supercar booth, but it's a Batmobile. I don't know anything else really about it. Then we have the Porsche tractor, and look at the evolution of Porsche from a tractor to a Carrera GT, you know, the best analog car ever made. The yellow doesn't really translate on film right now because the lighting is a little bit off. And then we have the white Weissach 918 Spider. And of course, let's keep going with the Holy Trinity. We got the P1, and we've seen this car so many times before, but the matte white LaFerrari and an 812 comp in matte red with the blue interior. You can barely see it, but that's probably my favorite new interior you can get on a Ferrari. But what a lineup right here. The Holy Trinity, everything in one booth is just pretty unbelievable. Okay guys, now we're at the Ferrari booth, and first we have the original hypercar right here, the 288 GTO. We just looked at them about 2 weeks ago when we were at Cavallino. We had kind of all of these around, but 288 GTO, we got the F40 right here. There's a European spec with the smaller plastic pieces on the front. And let's keep walking around and seeing. Yeah, so the F40 right here, the two turbocharged hypercars from Ferrari. And let's keep walking. And we have a shell of a 430. And of course, one of 399, allegedly. The Enzo right here, red with the red interior. Such a cool car. This is the car that I grew up on, you know, kind of styled almost like a Formula One car. First car that's not a manual for the hypercars. Then we have here this Daytona. So LaFerraris are cool, P1s are cool, but what's cooler than a PSP with a camera attachment to take photos of at the auto show? This is the coolest thing I've seen all year, dude. You're a G.
We decided to set up shop right in the heart of Italian supercar world. The confidence that required in his product, and that was reflected in what he made. I've always admired as well.
We are now at the Grand Touring booth. So we have the new Aston Martin DP12 Volante. I didn't even know this came out. And then, I don't know what this means, but on the seats it says Canadian Collection on this Bentley GTC. We have the electric Rolls-Royce Spectre, kind of like, almost like a Dawn, but electric. Then the Rimac that we saw driving in earlier, I guess it loaded it onto this kind of platform. Pretty cool, the green with the tan interior. But here we have three very, very serious cars. So these three cars are some of my favorites in the show. The final regular Chiron, like a non-Porsche Sport, not that. This is the final one ever made. It has sky view, but this is a Toronto car. Very cool to see the last one actually being here. Another very cool Toronto car is this blue new Lamborghini Countach. Gold wheels, white interior. We went on a track with the Stradman in a white Countach. Car is incredible. Sounds very different from the Aventador. You know, really, really cool concept of a car to kind of rebuild a car from, you know, the 70s and 80s, but definitely a cool duo. And then what we're going to start seeing on the streets probably very soon is the new Lambo V12 flagship car, hybrid, 1,000 horsepower, pretty crazy car, and it looks very futuristic, very different for Lambos. In my opinion, reminds me a little bit of a McLaren, especially on the inside. And last but not least, there's this DB6, I believe, little kid car. Pretty cool. Didn't expect to see this here.
So cute.
What a lineup though. The two V12 Lambos, the final version of like a special V12 Aventador based, and the brand new hybrid system, and the Chiron right there. But look at this DB5 little car. Look at the size comparison with the Lambo, but this is 90,000 euros for this little thing. Electric motor. Looks so cool though. Whipping around in this would be so fun. So yeah, we're inside the Grand Touring booth right now, but yeah, this is the final Chiron 1,500 horsepower variant, and it's not even taking delivery yet. The US bumpers are still on it. If you're smart at all, the second you take a delivery, you take these plastic bumpers off. But look at the gold accents. It's like borderline blue or black paint. It's not either of those really. Obviously carbon right here. Interior two-tone, but you can see in the middle, kind of right here, it says it's the last Chiron and it's signed. And then here we have the Countach, yeah, the Toronto Countach, the gold wheels, the flake on the wheels. Looks insane. But yeah, the blue, the white interior. I think it's a lot of mix, the blue, the gold, and the white, but I think it does look pretty good. These have like this little kind of moonroof type thing in the middle, but they're so badass. They sound incredible. They have a mild hybrid system, so it's not as extreme as the hybrid system in that, but it's so good, and they sound so good. If you guys haven't watched my video at the track day, we rode in one of these. It sounded insane, and this is a pretty good spec. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of these specs on the road once we start landing. White on red, kind of something that everybody does. This one has all these carbon pieces right here, but again, like I said, the interior, in my opinion, is a little bit too McLaren. I mean, the dash, everything just seems very, very McLaren. But other than that, 1,001 horsepower, those are Bugatti Chiron numbers in a car that we're going to see very, very often.